Hi, I'm Ken Fulk, and welcome to Hogwarts. Come on in. We jokingly refer to this house as Hogwarts, and it's a Harry Potter reference because it's late 1800s Tudor and Pacific Heights, and it kind of feels like the type of house where you have paintings where the eyes follow you around, and it's one of those, it could be ridiculous, kind of over-the-top houses that certainly has a sense of humor. I always say it feels like the Rolling Stones meet Harry Potter. This is the grand salon of the house, the big living room. And we were inspired really by, at least in thought, of an Italian kind of haberdashery. We picked almost men's suiting-like fabric, chalk-striped men's suiting fabric. We used a lot of etro. So almost when you look at a men's Italian suit where you have maybe a more traditional outside and then on the inside there's kind of a bit of a surprise. We tried to do that throughout the room. It's one of the threads here. This huge piece is actually a fragment from an 19th century building in Manhattan. One, I loved it. I have a penchant for faces, but I also liked that it felt like a guardian kind of watching over the room when you came in. When we were doing this story, I got asked what would be my one piece if the house were on fire that I would run out of this room with. And my answer was the chandelier, though I'm not quite sure how I would get out of the room with it, but I'd do my best. It's late 19th century French, and it's surrounded by these kind of ridiculous, fun, beautiful Hermes heads. And then you can see there are these, I don't know if they're eagles or vultures or something, they're actually holding the candles up. We're now in the dining room of the house, and it's a little bit like a King Arthur's court moment with this big wrought iron chandelier over this huge, long, old wooden table. But there's something very theatrical, kind of Hollywood about it. I always say it feels a little bit like Scarface dining room, where you might go in and be told before you're part of a mob hit or something. The wallpaper are actually red griffins. It's a flocked velvet wallpaper that we found at a company in Los Angeles, and it kind of set the tone. It definitely played with that kind of old English moment and then brought it into certainly well into the 21st century. This is one of the daughter's bedrooms. It actually was kind of pink and green when we inherited the room, and she wanted it to remain that way. So we softened the pink up, believe it or not. We added a really great lattice wallpaper to the ceiling. She is an aspiring actress, and so we wanted it to feel a bit Hollywood glamorous, as if, I don't know, a young Hollywood starlet may have lived here. I was thinking, or even of kind of Doris Duke, Palm Beach, 1960s. This is the library in the house, and undoubtedly my favorite room. It again kind of exemplifies the Harry Potter moment here. We took these chandeliers and we actually put them on these great big pulley systems because it looks like where you could have a swashbuckling sword fight here, and I always, from the movies thought about, holding on to it and being swung up into the air. So we did put blocks on them because we didn't want the kids to actually do that, but you can raise and lower these chandeliers. There's also a wonderful wall of portraiture that's here. It's just an odd mixed collection, some from my good friends at Lost Art, some that was from my own personal collection that I bought in, and it's definitely an interesting kind of magical moment in this house. I think everyone, when they come up here, has the same reaction. It's kind of, wow, it makes you feel like being a little kid again.